Ramon, remember we did a video on the Russian warships? We even interviewed Kurbis, the DA's shadow secretary of, I don't know, something or other. And we asked him, what was the ship doing here? And everybody was like, I don't know. Well, it turns out that the Russians are coming back. This time with their warships to make all the South African Navy look like a bunch of dinghies. And we're all going to do a massive, huge military exercise around South Africa to show our military might with the Russians. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so in case you haven't heard, the latest news is that there will be naval exercises off the eastern coast of South Africa, which I suppose is Durban, with Russian and Chinese warships. Maybe they'll bomb Durban and cause millions of rands worth of improvements. Who knows? And, people are not very happy about this because, number one, South Africa doesn't have a navy, so it's basically just Russia and China using the South African coast as a means to just show off what they wish to show off, which is their naval power. And this begs the question, Byron, and to you watching, of course, on what side is South Africa? Where does South Africa want to find itself? Is it part of the Eastern Bloc BRICS countries, which wants a multipolar world, or is it part of Globo Homo, the great American empire that is focused on identity politics and green energy and all that sort of nonsense? Because we are playing both sides as the South African state, and it's not good for anyone, let alone us.
Yeah, this becomes a difficulty because the ANC government feels like these guys are closer in line with our ideology. We should be their friends. But the West gives them all the money. The West feels like, hey guys, we need to apologize for apartheid and stuff. So yeah, have some donations. We'll help you with your load shedding story. Yeah, have some climate reparations. The East is like, we funded you during apartheid. We gave you your guns. We trained your soldiers. So give us some of your moolah now. On one side, the American empire wants to give. And the other side, the Eastern empire wants to extract. And we're like, let's go with the extractors, not the givers. But at the same time, we want what the givers want to give us. But in another respect, you're like, we like these guys' ideology. So it's kind of like, I don't want to annoy these guys because they'll stop giving me money, but I also want to be friends with these guys.
Yeah, and the problem with the givers, right? So America loves to give like reparations for climate change and all that nonsense. But those funds and those trade agreements come with various conditions, right? The reason why EWC hasn't happened in South Africa is largely due, I would argue, to trade agreements with the UK and with the USA. Like if they send funds here or they send factories and workers here, they want to make sure that those things can't be confiscated by the South African state. So it's actually very useful for us as people of South Africa that these trade agreements remain in place because it prevents the ANC from just going full retard with the country. On the other hand, the Chinese and the Russian view of the world to us is far more correct than the Western view of the world, right? America cares deeply about like trans issues and LGBT, climate change, green agenda. We don't care one shit about any of that. You see what Putin says about the West, he's 100% correct. If you look at what Xi is doing in China, he understands the West better than most Western powers. South Africa, which way should we go? Like for me, the East is the more obvious one. But then we must get off the teat of the global American empire, which we know the ANC won't because they just started.
The level of ruthlessness and efficiency that you see in the East is not replicated in the experience of Africa. Africa has its own way of doing things. You know, in the East, they always say, why leave for tomorrow what you can do today? In Africa, the saying is slightly reversed. It's why do today what you can do tomorrow, right? With that being said, it's like, we can't go to the East and say, hey guys, can we have some money? Because at this point in time, Russia is going to be like, hey, we need the freebies. We're in a bad position right now. Can we have a donation? Africa is going to be like, hey, I've got no money. Huh? And the Chinese are probably going to be like, nah, we don't give donations to you guys because we know it goes into someone's back pockets and it never benefits anyone. Most noticeably us, China. Like, we're all for giving money where it benefits us. So as a result, you have to go to the morons that are happy to give you the money for power and influence. And the Americans are still like that apologetic guy. They're all like, hey, reparations. Oof. Yeah, we better give you some. Hey, like, we were pretty bad to you in the past, so here, have some money. If we jump off that, we've got no money, we got no trade. And if we gravitate to the West, whilst ethically and morally, I agree with some of the things Putin says, outside of the conflict in Ukraine, that is, some of the things he says about the Western Empire is actually pretty accurate, especially around the Western Empire's retreat from what we would call conservative values. And South Africa is a distinctly Christian country with conservative values. But if you listen to the ANC conference, Ramaphosa is like, hey, these far right conservatives, they're getting a little bit out of hand. You know what I mean? And the entire electorate is like, Is that us? Is that us? But with that being said, it's like, he's right. But if we gravitate towards him on a morally and ethically point of view, we've got no trade partners, we've got no donations, we've got no grants, we got nothing. All we got is an Eastern Empire that would like to extract from South Africa, but there's nothing left to extract. What exactly is South Africa going to offer to Russia?
Not much. Maybe a few Karoo sheep. The lamb's excellent.
Russia's got more gold, it's got more minerals, it's got more guns, but at the end of the day, it's got more of everything than South Africa. So if it came to South Africa to do extraction, hey, what are they extracting, man? It's like, the sooner South Africa understands that, maybe it will help them kind of decide which side of the fence they want to be on.
We have created a brand new insurance brokerage called, funny enough, Morning Shot Insurance Brokers. So if you're interested in saving money on insurance, number one, but most importantly, having a Zoom with me and my wonderful face, why not send me your insurance schedule to ramon@morningshot.co.za? Let's chat. Maybe we can help each other save money and deliver superior service, because that's what we're all about here at Morning Shot. So at the end of the day, you must look at it this way, right? If we sign a pact with the East, a full pact, not this pig in the middle scenario, but if we sign a full pact with Russia and China, ideologically, it makes more sense to us here on Morning Shot. If we sign a full pact with the West, we'll be a richer nation, that's for sure. But I think we'll be corrupted by all that American gender ideology and a variety of other things that America wants to pump into the rest of the world. So that is the bargain that South Africa needs to look at. But right now, we'll take green reparations from the West and allow the Chinese and the Russians to have naval operations along the coast of South Africa. Something's going to give. I think both parties will tell South Africa to go screw itself, and then we'll be left with absolutely nothing but the ANC.
That is not true. We will be left with load shedding, potholes, debt, high crime, and Becky Sele. Hey, that's a happy days, eh?